That's why I stayed at the Royal Hotel. Very simple bed and a table. Toilets at the end of the corridor, but that was fine. And that's the town. Take a subway under the railway line. Little art exhibition down here. Good morning! Welcome to day 14 of the Heysen Trail. Day before yesterday it was all on road, so I put the earphones in, I listened to an audio book and just jogged away. It actually went pretty quick, which is good. So I arrived at the hut I was intending to stay at. It wasn't even 3 o'clock yet, so I continued on to the town of Crystal. Had a coffee and some food. My first action, got into the hotel. There's only 2 accommodation options. One was full, luckily the other one had a room. $50 a night for a nice simple room, and it's at the Royal Hotel, so they had pizza night that night, which is good. Yesterday, just a day of relaxing and eating, really. A little bit of maintenance. The Velcro on the back of my gaiters had stopped sticking. It's sort of disintegrated, really, so I bought some more Velcro and sewed some of those on, so that'll stop that annoyance of my gaiters lifting. This morning the forecast was meant to be rain for the next week. Thankfully it's sort of easing off to now showers for the next 5 days, so there is one day where there's meant to be quite a bit of rain, and yeah, it looks like a mixture of rain clouds and a tiny patch of blue sky. So today 19k to the first hut, then 2k to a town, 25k to another hut. Be nice to spend the night in a hut, keep my tent dry, but I think it depends how I go. I'm leaving 8 o'clock, so it's not too early, but I will probably get more than 19k. Right, back on trail with a full pack. Next resupply is Bura, and that's in 7 days. Quite a few of the farmhouses is this old stone, quite beautiful. Spalding is a town I will be going through, and Bura is my next resupply. Only 90k by road, bit more by the trail that we're taking. Trail today looks to be a mixture of road, possibly some fence line. But it's really hard to tell on the map what it actually is. I have 2k on this road before I get to turn off. Speed limit's 110 kilometres an hour here on open roads. New Zealand it's only 100, except for a couple of fancy expressways. And I got to start my day with my best breakfast, a steak and cheese pie and a coffee. Pretty good. Everyone's very friendly. Everyone. Cars, buses, trucks, they're all waving as they go past. Off the main road and onto the dirt road, which is nice. Not that the main road's been particularly busy. That's how you exercise horses, you tow them behind the ute. From here, we leave the road, we go up to the top of the hill, and then we go down the ridge line, and we come out down there before the corner, and then the road disappears. So we're doing a big dog leg. It's a big Z. Must be something interesting at the top of the hill. So this is what it looks like on the map. So I'm at this corner here, and instead of going straight down the road, you're going up the hill and then down the other side. Okay. I was worried it was a fence line, but at least it's a track. There's a moth on the ground. Look how hairy its head is. It's all fluffy. 2 white spots on the wings. Continuing up the track, it's a sandy track. So it's interesting looking at the different footprints. This one's been puzzling me. Not quite sure what it is. It's been some little animals and what I think is a fox. Not quite sure. It's before the rain. There you go. I think that's a fox print. Not 100% sure. I'm definitely not a tracker. That's where I've come from. There's absolutely no markers, but this is where the map says to turn. So I'll turn. It's like a relatively overgrown track. Nope, zero markers, and there was nothing of interest. I have no idea why we were brought all the way here. I mean, we're slightly higher, so there's a tiny view. That's the only reason I can think why I've been bored on this big dog leg. And I've got wet feet because of this overgrown track. Yay! That's the first marker I've seen since turning the corner nearly a kilometre ago. There's the road. And we're heading out that way somewhere. Relatively flat land around here. Okay, so that was weird. So that's the road that I was on and detoured off, detoured up to there and to here for some strange reason. And now I'm on this road for about 3 kilometres. Weird. Not a lot of excitement wandering along. Just generic farmland, some sheep. Alright, according to the map we're off roads, but looks like it's going to be on farm tracks, which is alright. I might get my earbud out and start listening to my book, because yeah, it's not overly interesting at the moment. From here it is 10 kilometres of, well, what I thought was cross country, but possibly farm track, possibly some fences later, to get to the hut. This looks a bit wet. See if I can get around. Aha, yep, I can get around. Alright, what do we got here? Biosecurity. So, clean footwear before entering, okay? Just met the farmer and had a bit of a chat. Said he's pretty happy with the amount of rain they've had, but they want it to stop now. But thankfully the forecast, it was absolute torrential rain, seems to be changing. Looks like it's gone around this area, which is good. Alright, just wandering along. Getting a bit of view. I've been climbing a little bit rocky over there. Oh, great. We're in long grass. Thankfully it's not quite as long as I thought it was, and there is a faint trail going through it. Oop. Turning down. Cute little stream. I think we're going up that hill up there next to the boat. Stream crossing. Pretty thick walls on those buildings. Alright. No, we're not going that way. We're going this way. This is fence line travel, and it is long grass, but there is a faint trail, and I'm actually not minding it today. Maybe because the grass is dry. The blue tongue. Interesting rows of rock. to long grass. Hello. Good morning. A neat little hut. It's got to get to it. Here it is. This is Heskey's hut. 2 rooms. And 1 more room. Cool. It's now 3 kilometres to the town of Georgetown. This is the Georgetown store. That's where I stopped and had some lunch, quiche and chocolate milk and some chips. Georgetown Hotel. And now I am on the road for 8 kilometres, and it's a total of 25 kilometres to the hut, so I won't reach there tonight. Little patch of blue sky there, but some really horrible grey looking clouds. So dark grey looking clouds over there, so it will rain. Thankfully it was only a sealed road for a few hundred metres, back to gravel. So wandering over, and then we'll be up in the hills, walking along the ridgeline for a little bit. Saw a snake crossing this big road. It was brown. Doesn't mean it was a brown snake, but it was the colour brown. Those grey clouds is where I'm heading. Started climbing up now. Climbing up to that ridgeline. No camping. That is going to be an issue. I'll have to try and get past these boundaries so I can camp. Not sure how far the boundaries are. Alright, we're going up to the ridgeline. Great, back to fence lines with long grass. Not staying by the fence lines, see a marker there and a marker there and a track, oh yeah, and a marker going up the hill, so we're following that track up the hill. Way on the skyline there is a radio antenna, which is the bluff. So I've come across there, sort of gone across that way, and then down here and along up this hill. Decent hill, still climbing, but just about on the ridgeline now. I'm on the ridgeline. It does look to be a faint track. It's like way out that way, curves around in a massive horseshoe, and I think we end up on that ridgeline eventually. So somewhere over that way is the hut, but to get there it's going to be 15 kilometres, a long way round before I get there, so it's definitely not tonight. Walkers follow track up the hill. No more track, pure cross country now. Walking along the edge, way back there, and then back along here. And down a big hill, I think I see a marker down on the corner there, and then it'll probably take us along there, along the fence line, I'm guessing. Very hard trying to focus on this bird. These are the ones that really noisy as they're flying. Yep, now we are following the fence. Despite the threat of rain, the clouds are really interesting. Right, turning the corner, but still following the fence. But the good thing is the grass is a lot shorter in this paddock. Makes it a lot easier walking. Leaving the fence, I can get the very faintest of trails, which I think is where the track goes. Just looking at the arrow direction. So they could probably stay hidden and camouflage up against that tree, but they're very noisy. Markers are pretty good. You can see up there is the next one. Wouldn't be good on a misty day, but it's good today. Way in the distance, there's not a lot of foot traffic on this trail, which is why it's a lot of just walking through the long grass. I think the name of the Heysen Trail is incorrect. A trail implies a defined path in the ground, and this is not. This is a route which is following a collection of points. Such as this is a perfect example, going from post to post, finding our own way. And that's a lot like the fence lines and everything, where you're given rough navigation guides, but definitely not a trail. It's just find your own way. I'm not minding it so much now, but when it gets to wet grass, it's going to be horrible tomorrow morning. 2k of the road walk on my right leg. Started to get the same sore shin, and down here as well. It's pretty much the same as what I've got on the other leg. Usually when I switch to single trail or rough stuff, it goes away, but it's not, and I think it's because it's this long grass. So slowed right down. It's yeah, not good if I've got the other leg sore as well. Though today the left leg's been fine, haven't felt it at all. Still a long way to go to get over to that other ridge line. Then demoralised then to just have to go back the way we've just come. These thistles can get pretty big when left unattended. So it's a threefold challenge. It's the long grass, it's dodging the prickles, and it's dodging the rocks, because you're going through rocky bands, and it means you cannot go too fast because you just cannot see any rocks underneath. I really don't want to twist an ankle. It's actually pretty tiring in this long grass. Not on a fence line. I can't complain that we're following fence lines. Oof, rocks. It actually looks almost like a track down there. Fingers crossed. Coming down off this hill, and I'm guessing we're following the fence line up, and then potentially the fence line that way. Yep, following the fence line. Left a tippy toe between the crops and the barbed wire. And unfortunately the fence is leaning in our way, which has reduced the space a little bit more. Right, and back the other way. So we came along there, along here, down here, and now back that way. But I think I might just camp here. I think this is flat enough. Doesn't look too damp. Yeah, I'm going to camp here. That's enough for today. Oh, tired. It is not ideal that I am camping where I haven't gone past none of the signs saying I can start camping. But I am shattered and my leg is really sore, so I don't really want to push on any further. But I'm in a little corner, so there's the crop there, and then there's a stream, and then I'm in a corner of the fence, so I'm doing the least amount of damage that I can, and I collect all my toilet paper and I don't leave any rubbish. So it's naughty, I shouldn't be here, but I don't have a choice. As you can see, it's the sun is starting to set. Yeah, the wind's picking up. Grey skies. It's going to rain. I'm definitely going to get wet tonight. But such is life. Well, my tent is going to get wet. I will stay dry inside it. Beautiful colours in the sky. This is the view as I'm sitting eating dinner.